Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into, well, a really fascinating collection of sources. They're all focused on this powerful principle for building good habits and getting rid of the bad ones.
That's right. We're looking at what's often called the first law of behavior change. Make it obvious.
Exactly. And our mission today is to show you how this isn't just some, abstract theory. It's actually a surprising tool. It can genuinely reshape how you approach your daily life. You might be surprised how much your brain does, like without you even knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's kick things off with this fundamental idea. Our brains, they're kind of incredible prediction machines, right?
Absolutely. They're constantly processing information, picking up cues,
Hmm.
often completely below our conscious awareness.
It's wild how much we operate on just intuition.
It really is. You think of those examples, like the paramedic who just knew her father-in-law was having a heart attack from a tiny facial change.
Well-
Or military analysts telling friendly planes from enemy missiles on a radar screen. It's pattern recognition happening non-consciously. The brain's cataloging all this stuff.
Right, but that automaticity, while it's amazing in those situations, it can be a bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Because habits form the same way without us really being aware.
Like that story about the retail clerk who accidentally cut up a credit card instead of a gift card. Just pure habit.
Oh, yeah. Or the former preschool teacher asking adult colleagues if they'd wash their hands.
Oh, the awkwardness. Exactly.
And well, those examples really point to the challenge, don't they? If habits are so automatic, so non-conscious, how do we even begin to change them?
Yeah, how do you grab hold of something you can't see?
It reminds me of that Carl Jung quote. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.
Ooh, that's powerful.
It really is. Behavior change, it always starts with awareness. That first spark. Awareness. Okay. So for you listening right now, if that's the starting point,
Right.
how do we actually get aware? What's a concrete technique?
Well, one really effective way, though it might sound a bit strange at first, is called pointing and calling.
Pointing and calling.
Yeah, it's used famously by the Japanese railway system. It cuts errors way down because it forces conscious attention. So operators literally point at a signal and say out loud, "Signal is green," or point to the platform, "All clear."
Huh. So you're making the unconscious action deliberate,
Yeah.
explicit.
Exactly. My wife actually does a sort of version of this when she packs. She'll call out each item as it goes in the bag. Okay, passport, toothbrush. It just forces that moment of focus.
I like that. It's like making yourself pay attention. And you can apply this more broadly, right? Like with a habit scorecard.
Yes, absolutely. That's another great tool for awareness. Simply list your daily habits, just write them down, then mark them. Put a pan, plus down for good, bam for bad, or in warn if it's neutral.
And the goal here isn't judgment, right?
Yeah.
Not at first, anyway. Not at all. The goal is just to notice, to see what you're actually doing throughout the day.
Okay.
And this helps you start to see, how these actions line up with the kind of person you want to be. A really helpful question to ask is, does this behavior help me become who I want to be?
That's a good framing.
And if you're finding it hard to categorize a bad habit, try actually using that pointing and calling technique out loud. Say, I'm about to eat this cookie, but eating it will hurt my health goals.
Oof. Saying it out loud makes it more real.
It does. It makes the consequences feel more immediate.
Okay, so awareness is step one. We shine a light on the habits. But what's next? Because let's be real, lots of people think they fail at habits because they lack motivation.
Right. That's a common belief.
Right.
But often what people really lack isn't motivation. It's clarity.
Clarity. How so?
This brings us right to the core of the first law. Make it obvious. It's about making the cues for your good habits incredibly visible, almost impossible to miss.
Ah, so it's about the trigger, the cue itself.
Exactly. Think about that hospital cafeteria study by Anne Thorndike. They didn't lecture anyone. They just moved bottled water to more prominent spots, like near the cash registers.
And what happened?
Soda sales dropped over 11%, and water sales jumped almost 26%, just by changing the visibility. It's designing the environment, not relying on willpower. Behavior is a function of the person in their environment.
That makes so much sense, especially when you think about how dominant our vision is. What is it? Like most of our sensory receptors are for sight.
Something like 10 million out of 11 million sensory receptors, yeah.
Yeah.
Visual cues are incredibly powerful.
Like those other examples, the Dutch electrical meters. Putting them in plain sight led to like a 30% drop in energy use.
Precisely. Or even that fly sticker in the airport urinals. Seems minor, but it cut cleaning costs by 8% just by providing a visible target.
Huh. It's amazing what a little visual cue can do.
So for your life, this means making the cues for good habits obvious. Put your medication right next to the tap you use every morning.
Or leave your guitar out in the living room, not hidden in a closet.
Exactly. Keep water bottles scattered around the house. You're creating context as cue. Your environment becomes the trigger.
Which also explains why it's sometimes easier to build new habits in a new place, right? Or setting up specific zones like this chair is only for reading.
Yes, the one space, one use rule. It works for digital spaces too. You're essentially creating a new, obvious context for the desired habit.
Okay, so that's making good habits obvious. Now the flip side, which kind of challenges our whole idea of self-control, is the inversion. Make it invisible.
Right. And this, I think, is the real secret to what we call self-control. People often think disciplined people just have incredible willpower.
But maybe that's not the whole story.
Well, the research suggests it's less about heroic resistance and more about structuring your environment to avoid temptation in the first place. Willpower is finite. It's a short-term strategy.
Like that Vietnam War heroin study. That was eye-opening.
Hugely insightful. Around 20% of U.S. soldiers in Vietnam were addicted to heroin. But when they came home, 90% of those addicted soldiers just stopped, almost overnight.
90%. Without relapse, how?
Their environment completely changed.
Yeah.
All the cues, the triggers associated with using heroin in Vietnam, were gone back home. It wasn't that they suddenly developed superhuman willpower.
They just weren't exposed to the cues anymore.
Exactly. It shows that once a habit is really encoded in your brain, the urge often follows exposure to the cue, even if it's been dormant for years. The best way to break a bad habit is to make its cues invisible.
So practically speaking, instead of constantly fighting urges,
reduce your exposure. Simple as that. If you waste time on your phone, put it in another room when you need to focus.
Or unfollow social media accounts that make you feel envious or trigger procrastination.
Yes. Move the TV out of the bedroom if you stay up too late watching it. Remove one single cue, just make it invisible, and often the entire habit just fades away.
Self-control is short-term. Environment optimization is long-term.
That's the essence of it.
So there we have it. The first law of behavior change. Make it obvious. And it's inversion. Make it invisible. It really boils down to recognizing the subtle but really profound power of cues and context in our lives.
We often just exist in environments that others have designed. Workplaces, stores, even our homes sometimes.
But this deep dive shows that you can actually be the architect. You have that power. So the final thought for you today. What environment will you choose to design for yourself?